For our generations, Point Pleasant has been known as a close-knit river town where neighbors know one another and history runs deep. But 50 years ago, this quiet community was shaken by a tragedy that would leave a lasting mark on its people.
On November 16, 1976, an explosion destroyed the Mason County Jail in downtown Point Pleasant. The event, now remembered as the Point Pleasant jail bombing, claimed lives and deeply affected families, first responders, and the entire community. In the moments that followed, emergency crews and local residents rushed to the scene, working through the devastation to search for survivors and support one another.
In the aftermath, grief was shared across the town. Families mourned loved ones, and the community stood together. During a difficult time for many residents, the memory of that day has never faded. Stories of courage, loss, and resilience have continued to be passed down from one generation to the next.
Half a century later, the events of November 16, 1976 remember an important part of Point Pleasant history. Remembering the tragedy honor those who were affected and recognizes the strength of a community that came together in faces of loss.
50 years later, the people of Point Pleasant continue to remember not only the tragedy itself, but the unity and determination that followed. It is a history the town carries with respect, reflection, and remembrance.
I'm Kevin Durst, am I here with?
Hi, my name's Rob Gerald.
And what do you know about the jail bombing?
Well, it was a really tragic time. We lost our courthouse. We lost some civil servants in that situation. We got a new courthouse out of it. That's not the really great part about it, but when you go downtown to the courthouse, you see that nice new courthouse that would not have been there if you hadn't had the bombing. And I actually met a survivor of the event.
That's cool.
He used to work at the State Farm Museum, and I'm not going to use his name, but one day he was on his tractor and I sat around and I asked him some questions and he started telling me the stories about it, that they had some domestic violence complaints. They went out to the site, they made some arrests, and for some reason, one of the suspected people in the event had brought a suitcase with them to the jail, which apparently wasn't unusual at the time. But the other party involved kept telling them not to let the suitcase go in. And according to this survivor of the incident, that suitcase was full of explosives and he set it off in the jail. Somehow he got it in jail and set it off. And this guy actually survived. He said it blew him 40 yards through a wall. He was still deaf, still couldn't use one arm, one leg, but he survived it. It was very sad, very tragic.
That's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go.
I'm Kevin Durst, who am I here with?
Bernadette Anderson.
Do you know anything about the jail bombing like 50 years ago?
Yes, I do. Because, I mean, it was a horrible thing to happen. And one of the people, I know several people were killed. Maybe, how many? 4?
Yes.
And one of the officers was injured, and I think his leg was blown off, and his name was Wallace. Let me think. His name might be Bruce Wallace, and he's still alive. And he is married to Gloria Buck Wallace, who is from the area where I'm from. So I know that it was very, of course, you know, you get to have your leg blown off. It's life-changing.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.